your success on cold calling is knowing how to nurture the different types of people you're talking to. So different buckets. Yeah, where are you at, dude? At the office or where?
Yeah, I'm at the office today.
Where
So
is the office for you? Where's it at?
I'm in Orem, Utah, just right by Provo, like 40 miles
I
south
know where
of
that's
Salt
at.
Lake.
I think my friend Aaron Drussel just opened up an office in Provo, I
Oh
think.
yeah, no, I know Aaron. He's with Better Homes and Gardens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool, buddy. He's a
Uh,
good dude. Got a
yeah,
good
he is.
presence. Got a good presence. Welcome, everyone. We've got Kent. He's my friend. He became my friend slowly over time because I kept on seeing him and I was like, dude, this guy's brilliant. I need to talk to him more. And he's so great at talking to people. And you'll find that his conversations are not magical in any way. It's just repetition and his tonality. And
Yeah,
that's what makes it so amazing, Kent. So you always make it look easy, but you have so much damn practice.
a lot. It was
Yes.
it was funny when I worked for REDX for 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it was. The sales guys on the team would always tease me and be like, "Kent, I like the sound of your voice. I'm going to sign up for the year." Nice. Must be a voice thing. I have an advantage somewhere. And I
Well,
have
you,
gotten that
you
before.
trained yourself, right? You
Yeah,
trained
I
up.
trained myself.
So the question, the whole reason for this, what's up, Gustavo? How are you, man?
Love Gustavo.
Does
Yes.
cold calling work? What? But let me set the premise. Does it work in our current environment where you have AI now jumping in and making some calls for you? As I'm just yesterday, I was in a with a company who's built it out. So I'm listening. I'm like, oh, there's a delay. It's pretty good. We've seen Ylopo do it. They're doing it pretty great job. Does it still work if I'm calling human to human?
I think it gives you more of an advantage. You know how people are going back to record players and the movies that from like the 50s are really popular right now because people just miss that moral in the
Mhm.
old times. I think that's what it's going to be with cold calling with AI. People are going to want that because AI is great, but it's imperfect, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it will completely replace it. So I think to have that human aspect of it is just going to make you way more valuable.
Yeah. I also want to know
Yeah.
with AI if I'm talking to AI, right? And it's like, and I know that's coming. I don't know how many years it's going to take, but it's for instance, some states don't allow you to have recorded conversations without letting them know that it's being
Right.
recorded. California, one of them, right? So my conversations, if I want to record it, are like, "Hey, you're on a recorded line, Ken. How are you?" And then we'll get into it. So I think it'll be similar. Hey, this is Tristan's AI. How are you doing today? You're on a recorded line, whatever it's going to look like. But yes, I agree with you. I would like to, and maybe because we're in the middle of being alive and very cognizant of what's happening, that you and I like to talk to people, right?
Yeah.
But my son, who's growing up with AI from a very, very early age, it's like, well, I don't really care. I'll talk to anybody. I don't know. So, but right now I agree with you, man. I definitely agree with you. So, Kent, why does cold calling work right now?
I mean, it's just you're playing a numbers game. So I wrote down a bunch of things. Can I just read them in
Yes.
preparation for today? So I think I think one really important aspect is okay, does cold calling work? Yes, it does. I think where agents failed, they failed with internet leads, with cold calling, with everything, is that 99% of those people are in the early stages. They're in the dream stage of buying or selling a home
Yeah.
typically when you capture them. So 99% of those people are just going to be nurturers. So where you're going to fail is in the follow up.
Got it. So it's not in the initial call where everyone says, "Oh, cold calling sucks."
Yeah,
It's what happens after.
doesn't
And
work, it's dead. And maybe it is because your scripts are really too pushy to try to
Mhm.
get them to set an appointment when they're not ready to do something yet.
Okay.
So this has to just be a little more relaxed. Like the conversation that you have with somebody, hey, have you ever thought about selling in the next year or two? No, we haven't. We're going to be here for a long time. Okay, so it has crossed your mind then? Yeah, I mean, it's crossed our mind. I mean, where would you move to if you were to sell? I mean, you're in a great area. And then you just start opening up dialogue. And once you have that dialogue about where they're moving to, be excited for them. The next step isn't, hey, let's set an appointment. I want to come and meet you. It's, hey, I've really enjoyed our conversation, Tristan. Do you mind if we just stay in touch from time to time? Would
Mhm.
love to keep you up to date on what's happening in the market. Yeah, for sure. Great. What's the best email for you?
And what do
And
you
then
do
you
with
stick
them when you
them.
have their email?
So I actually wrote that down. So my follow-up system is super easy. Email allows you to Facebook target them. So I run retargeting ads to these people. So they're seeing me. They can't unsubscribe from seeing my Facebook retargeting ads. I also say, is this a good number to text you on? Yeah, definitely. I can text you
Mm.
on this number? Yeah, for sure. So now they've given me permission to stay in touch. Now I send them a text one time per month,
Mm-hmm.
just with some sort of market update.
Mm-hmm.
I put them on HomeBot, and then we do a ringless voicemail to them one time per month.
Got it.
So it's
Oh,
just
okay.
different avenues.
I like that. I
But
like
this
that a
isn't
lot.
like I'm sticking you in here and I'm going to follow up with you for 90 days. Because if you have 1,000 people, that is going to be really hard to stay in touch with those people. So the next point I wrote down is you have a 3 to 4% conversion rate. Ours is 3.8% conversion rate on these people that I'm calling, cold calling every day.
Wow, man. I
But
like that.
if you think about it, my goal when cold calling is to not set an appointment every day when I'm cold calling. My goal is to get 5 people to give me their email and agree for me to stay in touch. 5 times 240, I have 1,200 people. It's 1,200 people I'm nurturing. With that math, that's 30 to 40 deals that you're adding each and every single year, and they're come list me calls. Hey, I don't know if you remember me, Tristan. Like I get these calls pretty often. Hey, Ken, I don't know if you remember me. We talked a while ago. I've been getting your emails and your text messages,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we're ready to sell. Those are come list me calls.
Yeah. And that's because you're able to nurture them well. Prayful says, what's up, Prayful? How are you doing, man? Says Seth Godin, permission-based marketing. I like that.
Yeah.
Uh, that's really good. What's the ringless service that you're using, Kent?
It is Slide broadcast.
Slide broadcast. All right, cool. That's the most
It's not a
popular.
monthly subscription. It's just this is how many voicemails I want to drop
Got
this
it.
month.
All right, so then let's go to who you're calling right now. Are they for sell by owners, expires, for rent by owners, geo prospecting? What does this look like in the old school of cold calling? Right. I like to say the new schools like online leads, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, right? That the old school. Who are you calling?
Yeah, so I don't necessarily look at expireds and FISBOs as cold calls
Okay.
because I mean they've worked with an agent or they have their house listed. They're probably expecting calls from agents if they're a for sale by owner. Um, so again, it might be cold in that I don't know them, they don't know me, but they're wanting our services or needing our services at this point. So that's not necessarily cold. Cold to me is just circle prospecting around neighborhoods. That could be just listed, just sold calls. That could be I'm just calling you around the neighborhood to see if you've ever thought about selling. Which I'm starting to gear towards. REDX has that ad builder feature. I don't know if you're familiar with that. So you
Which
can
one?
create ad builder
Oh,
is
yes,
what it's
yes.
called.
Uh-huh.
So the thing that where I've been leveraging that is not to get leads coming in from Facebook, but I target specific areas with my geo leads, and then I start running Facebook ads for a couple of days, and then I'll go in and cold call around that neighborhood. And it creates familiarity. So when I say, hey, I'm Kent with Summit Realty, I've seen you somewhere. Where have I seen you? Your name sounds familiar, and it just creates credibility.
That's true, man. I like that. I like that you're bringing that into play. So right now with what you're doing, what is working the most? Because things change. Sometimes some things work better and then others work a lot better. So what's working right now?
So for me, it's calling, it's just calling neighborhoods. I've really latched
Geo?
onto that. Geo.
Geo. All right. So take me
Geo
through
and for rent by owners, I would say, are my two like biggest things that
Geo
I'm seeing.
and for rent by owners. Let's go through the beginning of Geo and then through the beginning of for rent by owners. If you're calling me on a Geo, is it you are calling on a newly listed property or something that's sold recently? What does that look like?
So it could be both. Hey, we just listed a property. Hey, we just sold a property in your neighborhood over on 123 Main Street, 4-bed, 3-bath, and was just curious to see what real estate plans you had at this time. Oh, we don't have any. Oh, I can't say that I blame you. You live in a beautiful neighborhood. Has the thought ever crossed your mind about selling, Tristan?
I'd be like, oh, maybe later.
Maybe later. Okay. Are
Yeah.
you thinking like 2 years, 5 years?
No, I'd probably be like maybe 7 years from now when I retire, or maybe 6.
Okay. So 6 or 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Totally get it. Well, I'm sure you're like most of your neighbors that want to be kept up to date on what's happening in the neighborhood. Would you mind if we just stayed in touch from time to time? And if you ever have any questions, I'd love to be a resource.
Yeah.
Perfect. What's the best email for you, Tristan?
123@gmail. Dude, that's good. Would you mind if I stay in touch with you? Can you repeat that? Because I think that opens up the door, like Prayful said earlier, permission-based marketing. But can you
Yeah,
repeat that?
but it's so vague. If you say, can I stay in touch with you every month? They're gonna be like, no, I'm good. If you just say from time to time, it's so vague that they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. You're
I don't
probably
even know
never going
what
to
from
do it.
time to time means, right? So it's
Yeah.
like easy. Interesting.
So
I
when they
like.
say, yeah, my next question is, wait, what's the best email for you?
All right. And then so take me through now the nurture for someone that you've called on geo prospecting. What does that nurturing look like?
So I have a folder called databank, and then I use follow up boss. So in my vortex, I have a folder and I've named it databank because I want to make more deposits than withdrawals. It's really stupid, but that's how my mind thinks. So I make a deposit into my databank, and then I go out at the end of the day, export them out of REDX into follow up boss, and then they start hitting those nurturing systems. So I have a tag called databank, and it creates different action plans and
I like
different tasks.
depending on who you add there, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And then how long is the nurturing good for? Is it for like a year, a few months, 2 years, long?
Forever.
I like that. I like that. Deposit into the data bank every day, Gustavo says, love it. So then take me through the for rent by owner. What does that sound like?
So my for rent by owner script is super simple. Tristan, hey Tristan, it's Kent over at Summit Realty. I was calling about the property you have for rent on 123 Main Street. Is it still available?
Yeah, it is.
It is. Okay. Would you ever consider selling the property?
Oh, well, maybe look, if I can't rent it out, maybe it's getting a little difficult with renters, but yeah,
Yeah,
it works.
I totally get it. Talk to people like you every day that renting is not the funnest thing in the world. So I totally get it. What price would you have to get for it to make sense to sell?
Um, I haven't really thought about that. I've just been looking at considering if we don't get a renter, maybe considering it selling first. Maybe considering selling it.
Maybe. Okay. Well, here's what I'd like to do. I'd love to run some numbers for you, see what it would sell for in today's market. And assuming we could get you a strong offer, let's go ahead and have a more formal meeting. I'd love to meet you at the house. It sounds like it's vacant. So I'll run that. I'll run that this afternoon. Would you have any availability maybe tomorrow or Friday to meet at the home?
Could you just email that to me first and I'll take a look at it? And then, as we're really early, we don't even know if what we're
Oh,
gonna do, if
for
we're gonna end
sure.
up leasing it or later sell it.
Yeah, I'll email it over to you. That's not a problem at all. And then what I'll do is I'll just give you a call tomorrow to go over the marketing or to go over the CMA that I'm going to send over. And if the numbers make sense, then we can set up that more formal meeting. Fair enough?
Yeah, that's great.
Perfect. What's the best email for you?
123 at Gmail.
Perfect. And then he's going to go into the same, we're just going to go into the same data bank campaign, assuming that you don't do anything. Now I have your phone number, your email, all of it.
Yeah, I like that, man. Prayful says, have you learned NLP, Kent, or is it just built in?
No, I've taken NLP courses.
Yeah. Also, Prayful, he's done it for so many years, for a long time each day, that he's progressively gotten better based on conversations he's had. A lot of no's developed how to get better yeses over time.
Yeah, for sure.
So, so that's probably the experience you're seeing. Kent, what do you think is the reasoning behind your success with cold calling in general? What do you, if you could break it down to one thing, is it really the hours you put in or something different?
So funny you mentioned this. I've never thought. Yesterday, I was on a webinar with REDX for their 30-day listing challenge for the people that signed up for their end of year.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions that came up was, if you were talking to a brand new real estate agent, what's the one piece of advice that you would give them? And I think I stuck to a script for a whole year. Like I just stuck to a script. It was amazing how many people said, are you a robot? Are you a real person? When I first started calling, because I didn't know what else to say. So I would just stick to the script, fell. What I think a lot of agents, new or old, have a problem with is they're always looking for that next best script, that shiny object script. But by just sticking to it, I found, oh, when I say this, people respond this way. So I just need to find a way to continue the conversation once they say this. Like it used to be, no, we're not thinking about it. Like, okay, thanks, have a great day. Or for rent by owners, no, we'll never sell. Well, okay, great, have a great day. Like that was the depth of my scripting. Now when the friend by owner says no, there's still an opportunity. It sounds like you're a really serious investor. I love that. When do you plan to add to your portfolio?
I like that.
We come across properties, we're making these calls all day long. Sometimes I come across properties 70 to 80 cents on the dollar. If we
Mhm.
found a deal like that for you, Tristan, would you mind if we just let you know about it in case it's a good fit? Oh, no, totally. Yeah, definitely. Great. What's the best email to send that to? And then I capture them as a buyer and I put them in my investor pool. So when we do find a listing like that, we can send it out to that investor pool.
Got it. I like this, man. I think the key to this, to your success, going back to the very beginning, the key to your success on cold calling is knowing how to nurture the different types of people you're talking to. So different buckets. And
Yeah.
that I think to Gustavo's question, how do you stay out of spam jail and keep your contact rate high? I think, do you segment the people you talk to into buckets so that they're getting relevant information?
Oh, you're talking about for email and
Yeah.
texting?
Hmm.
No, I just send it out to everybody. I just don't worry about that. For
Well,
calling,
you seem to be providing valuable content. So like if you talk to me and I'm a for rent by owner, then you're sending me relevant information about renting and owning and possibly selling. I'm going to
right,
be opening up your emails. If you're not sending me for sale by owner and expired crap.
right. Well, and
So
that's the thing. I think that's where Facebook's really powerful in running those retargeting ads is between texting, email, homebot, or I guess homebot, ringless voicemail, texting, and Facebook, they're going to see my face. maybe 4 ways, maybe 2 ways, maybe they unsubscribe from my emails. I'm just not worried about it. I just have faith that 3.8% or 4% are going to convert over to future listings. But as far as staying out of jail for spam with calling, REDX has a really cool spam protection feature where they proactively keep your number off of spam with all the
that's what Gustavo was referring to on the call one.
Which has been huge because I jumped from 12 contacts an hour. Right now I'm averaging about 27 contacts an hour. So it just tells you how serious that spam protection is. When I'm circle prospecting, I should say.
I like that, man. That's awesome. And the Gustavo says that's huge, and I agree. I think that is the key. So Kent, what are you doing in the next few months to level up the connections and to have better success? Because I know you're always looking to see what can I do better.
Yeah, so I think one thing that I'm really looking into, and I'd love your feedback on this, is we did YLOPO for a little bit. And in my mind, again, I'm one of those realtors that was like, if it's not now business, because expires and FISBOs was drilled into my head so hard. If it's not now business, it's a waste of time and a waste of money. So we had YLOPO for 9 months, I want to say, and then we dropped it. And last month I went through and texted and called all of them. You know how we had 234 leads that were just stale, nothing was happening with them. 18 of them relisted their home, and I picked up 12 buyers and sellers.
Damn.
So I think one really important thing to think is, again, with internet leads, with circle prospecting, if you're there for the people during that dream process, they're going to be there for you during the sales process.
That's very true.
But I think too often we just give up. So I think we're going to get re-signed up with YLOPO and realize, oh, okay, yeah, we can nurture people and it's going to be really successful.
Yeah, nurturing is the key, man, because if you're looking at just the leads coming through, you're going to have a 1% conversion rate on Google PPC and Facebook lead ads over a 3-year period. And
right.
And the key is if you can nurture them even longer term, you're going to have even better success. And 1%'s actually pretty decent. So if you've got your systems down, you could do over 1%. If you suck, then it's not going to work for you.
When you have to look at it, it compounds too. So you do it for a year. Okay, I did 10 deals this year, but next year I have double the leads, and 1% of 1,000 leads is 10 deals. 1% of 2,000 leads is 20 deals. So after 5 years, you have that amount of leads that you're just sitting there nurturing, and you go the Ricky Carruth route of just like, I don't need to cold call anymore because I have so many people in my database that are just come list me calls because my systems are down. Yeah, and well enough.
The systems are down. That's the key. Tom, maybe I missed it, but how do you get phone numbers? So we use REDX. Here's what it looks like on the back end. Oh, there we go. So this is REDX Vortex. On the left, you can see I have the expired one checked, but you can do withdrawn, canceled, geo leads, which is what we were talking about, and FRBOs, or for rent by owners. There's also for sale by owners. And then here they are. If you click on one, you can take a look at all the information. You can even see the DNC number, do not call. So you can skip those. And then you have all this other information here, including market insights. If it loads.
Can I make a note of that? Can I talk about that for a second?
Yes, please go ahead. Sure.
So I do these prospecting boot camps for REDX, and they do them once a month. But we didn't have very many expireds. I do live prospecting on those. And so I was like, hey, does anybody have a market that I can call into? And with those market insights, this is especially relevant for Gus's audience. It's like you're in the market. You can be a market expert. So when someone says, hey, what do you think my house could sell for? Well, your average price per square foot's $677 here in Temple City.
Mm-hmm.
So how big is your home? And then you can so when your ISA is calling, they're not just in the dark. They have all of the information right there.
Yeah, it is all right here, dude. I love this. All right, let me stop sharing, go to the questions. I know we had a couple. Got that one, Tom. Great question. We did put up the link. I think Jacob will put up the link too. So if you do want to check out REDX, it's there. I think Jacob's got it. There it is. Prayful, do you use circle prospecting from REDX too, Kent? Focusing on SOI?
Focusing on SOI.
So the circle prospecting, like, do you upload your database into REDX and just dial?
No, I keep all of those in Follow Up Boss. And
All
the
right.
well, I mean, you definitely could if you wanted to.
Yeah, you could do that. I like to dial my SOI one dial at a time.
Same.
Yeah, it's a lot. We find it's just a lot. We already have an established relationship, so to treat them like you've never talked to them before is a surprise. It's like, oh, who am I? Oh, Ken. Oh, crap. Ken, how's your daughter? It's like it just doesn't come across as
Right.
not authentic enough. Not authentic enough.
Well,
But
in FUB, they gave you. Have you done the V card on FUB yet?
I have.
Which is sweet because if they have an iPhone, they just save it in the contact. And so when I talk to them, I just say, hey, just say, update my contact information. This is my business line. So when I call you, you don't think I'm spam. And it's been a game changer for my SOI. But the nice thing about REDX is you can put the caller ID as whatever you want it to be, even if you want it to be your personal cell phone for your SOI. And that's what will reflect on their end.
I like that, man. I like that. All right. I like this. Any questions you have here as we close, or are we going to let Kent go early by like 2 minutes? Kent, are you on with me tomorrow for X Factor or no?
Yeah, I am.
What are we talking
Everybody
about
on this
tomorrow?
call should be on X Factor.
What?
X Factor is such a cool program.
Dude, I know we go a little deeper on
Shameless
every
plug.
right.
Shameless plug, but you should be on it.
Appreciate that. And then we prospect. I still haven't had you on a prospecting call live, which is those would be fun.
We need to do that.
Those would be awesome. Will X Factor is part of the coaching the group coaching that we do monthly. But Kent's on there, Jonathan's on there. We do a lot of fun stuff. Can we get a copy of this video, Amy? Yes, this one's going to go into our YouTube channel for LabCoatAgents. Jacob put up the link there. Just go ahead and hit subscribe. You'll get to rewatch it, slow it down, and you're good there. As far as the group coaching, geez, I don't know if I have the link. Let me see here if I can find it really quick, and then it'll give you. Yeah, there it is.
What I think is cool is all the marketing stuff that you give them. So what we talked about today, the action plans, like don't you include all of that with your coaching?
All of the nurturing LCA Marketing Center.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll do a shameless plug thanks to you, Kent.
Yeah, you should. I here's the thing, it's helping people. I think one of the biggest problems in real estate is we're not marketers. Like a lot of us don't know how to.
Yeah.
So we'll do the prospecting and then we'll say, well, now what? I called them. I have somebody. Now what? Maybe we should go deeper into that.
That's a
Next
good
time.
idea, man. I think the idea of selling through attraction is probably the key because you mentioned you established this relationship from a quick conversation. Now, how do you create an environment to attract the person to call you in the future based on just one interaction? So yeah,
Definitely.
I agree, man. Kent, I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck
Yeah.
today.
See you tomorrow. Thanks, Tristan.
Appreciate
Appreciate it,
it.
man.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good one. See ya.
Bye.